Guys, I cannot believe this. Cava just reported earnings and they did it again. They blew it out of the water. What's up, YouTube? If you don't know, my name is Jay to the Von. I'm a CPA, and over here on this channel, I make investing and finance sound so simple that even the average person on the street can just pick it up and just know what we're talking about. Today, we're going to talk about Cava earnings. Now, if you don't know what Cava is, I might just change your life. Think of Chipotle, but 10 times better, in my opinion. They're a Mediterranean restaurant that just went public on the stock market of June of 2023, and it is up almost 400% since then. Now, this stock is a beast to be reckoned with, and today we're gonna go over their most recent earnings report from Q2 of 2024. And before we even get into it, let me just tell you guys, this is not financial advice. I just happen to be a man who just likes to eat his Cava, that's it. So how's the market reacting to Cava's earning reports? Well, Cava closed at $101. Right now, after hours, it is up to $111. That is a 9% increase just off of this earnings report. Now, if you've been watching this stock as closely as I have, you would know that a lot of people expected this stock to drop, claiming that the stock is overvalued. Now, it may be, but those people, they're eating their words today. When I know for sure they wish they were eating some Cava instead. For Q2 2024, Cava reported earnings per share of 17 cents per share, while analysts were expecting 13 cents per share. This is not even close. Now for revenue, they made analysts look even more silly. Cava reported revenue of $233 million. Analysts were expecting $220 million. They beat analysts by $13 million. Now, if you watched any of my other videos, you know I love a profitable stock, and this stock happens to be profitable, which we love. This stock reported net income of $19.7 million. This time last year, they reported net income of $6.5 million. Guys, they nearly tripled net income within a year. Now, let me emphasize how big that is, guys. Right now, restaurants across the country are reporting a decline in visits to their restaurant. Cava, on the other hand, they're making this look easy. Like, how dare this stock come into the restaurant industry and just make it look like anyone can do this. I might just have to sit this bag up here like it's a badge of honor, guys, because they're literally the people to beat right now. A lot of people compare this company to what Chipotle was back in the day when they were still growing and expanding, and guess what? They still are. So that's why a lot of people look at Chipotle and see where they're at today and say, Cava just might be able to replicate what Chipotle did years ago. So like I said earlier, a lot of people's biggest complaint about Cava is that it's overvalued. I'm not going to lie to you. That PE ratio is horrendous. A 392 PE ratio, I can barely say it seriously, guys. That is really bad. We are paying a lot up front for this stock. This stock also has an $11 billion market cap. Now let's compare that to Chipotle. Chipotle currently has a $73 billion market cap. That means it's 7 times bigger than Cava. And look at that, their PE ratio is only 52. Now that's much better and much more what I would expect from Cava, but who knows, maybe we'll get there eventually. Again, I'm not gonna lie, that is very bad. But the growth is there definitely. But enough about the bag, let's go through the actual presentation that they presented today during their earnings report. Back into the numbers here, a lot of these are just gonna be things that I repeat. So revenue, $230 million, up 35.2% versus 2023, that is huge. Same restaurant sales growth, they're up 14.4%, and Cava traffic growth up 9.5%. Crazy numbers, guys, for an industry that is falling. Down here, we got the total company adjusted EBITDA of $34.3 million. And of course, here's that $19.7 million again down here of their net income. Very big numbers, guys. Very good. That's what we want to see. Now, let me tell you guys why this $19.7 million down here is so big. Now, guys, a lot of these new stocks that IPO within the past 2-3 years, a lot of these companies aren't profitable. Cava is profitable already. That means we're taking on much less risk than we would be with a company that has nothing to show for it so far. So when people complain about how expensive Cava is, I'm pretty much just dumbfounded. Think to myself, what do you expect? Now, if you want to go to a company that has no profits yet and has much more risk, but is much cheaper, be my guest. I like my money in a safe, growing place. Okay, now on to this tab, the Q2 2024 business highlights. Guys, look at Cava's revenue over the years. Started this year off in Q1 of 2024 with $256 million. Q2, $231 million. Now, this analyst expected this drop. But look at the year-over-year numbers here, guys. $231 million this year in revenue, compared to 171 million in revenue this time last year in 2023. And here's that 9.5% traffic growth that we talked about earlier, guys. Their restaurants that they're opening are not slowing down. And speaking of opening restaurants, look at their total restaurant count down here. This is one of my favorite parts of this presentation here. Cava opened 18 restaurants during this quarter. 18. Look at this slide over here. This part of the slide over here. 18 new Cava restaurant openings. They're up to 341 restaurants now with plans to open even more. Okay, now this was a big part of the presentation that you would only really catch if you attended the call. So a sizzling summer launch. So on June 3rd of this year, Cava launched their new grilled steak protein option. Before that, they didn't have any steak, but now they have a steak pita and a steak mezzi salad. Now let me tell you guys, if you've never been to Cava, I would highly suggest getting the steak mezzi salad first. Now me, I mix mine up a little bit. I may add some rice, I may add some lentils, but this steak mezzi salad is a winner. I'm not gonna lie to you, as soon as I'm done recording this video, I just might go ahead and go get me one. On the call, Cava's entire leadership team talked about how well the steak option is doing and how it's surpassing expectations by far. Now, just for me attending the restaurant myself, let me start by saying I have never been to Cava and the line was not at the door, guys. Now, when I went there the past few times, a bunch of people in front of me, they were ordering steak, steak, steak. It got to my turn. What do I want? Steak. This steak option is really flying off the shelves in Cava. Now let's get into this slide here. This slide is another big slide. A warm welcome to the Windy City. So to a lot of people, they may be thinking, who cares? A restaurant in Chicago, woohoo. But if you're thinking about the numbers, Chicago is the third largest city in the United States with about 2.7 million people. Now, all of those people now being able to experience Cava for the first time, guys, this is huge. And this is not going to be their only restaurant in Chicago, I guarantee you. Again, another big slide right here. I'm going to stop saying that because it's getting redundant. All of this is huge. Now, they gave guidance their last earnings report, and those numbers were pretty big. Now, what a lot of companies typically do is in their next earnings report, they may adjust some of those numbers and say, hey, we told you guys we were going to open 100 restaurants. Yeah, it turns out that's going to be about 75. Or they may give you high numbers in certain categories and say, hey, down here, we're going to do okay with everything except for this category down here. Cava did not do that one bit, guys. So originally they said they're going to open about 50 to 54 restaurants. Turns out now they're expecting to open 54 to 57. And I'm hoping that number increases on the next earnings report. For same restaurant sales growth, originally they said 4.5 to 6.5%. Now the same restaurant sales growth is growing at 8.5 to 9.5% is what they're expecting. Huge difference. Now the pre-opening cost to open up a restaurant, that stayed the same at about $12 million to $13 million. Hopefully that number can be cut down in the future. Right now, I don't expect that to be cut down anytime soon. And of course, the big one down here, adjusted earnings before income tax and depreciation amortization. Now, originally they were expecting $100 million to $105 million, but now they increased that to $109 to $114 million. This is them basically telling, hey, analysts, you thought we weren't going to hit these numbers? Well, guess what? You better increase yours. So look at their net income over the last 5 quarters on this slide, guys. 5 straight quarters of profitability, $19.7 million for net income in Q2 of 2024 versus Q2 of 2023. That number is $6.5 million. That growth is astronomical. If we look down here, like I told you guys, I'm a CPA, so I love this number down here. Now, net cash flow from operating activities, meaning what they do on a day-to-day basis, $48.9 million in Q2 of 2024. And last year, $21.4 million. This is a cash cow at this point. I'm telling you guys, this stock has my mind blown. On one hand, it's overvalued. I can tell you that for sure. But on another hand, once you look at all the numbers, you look at their balance sheet, you look at their income statement, and you look at what they continue to do, I don't know how you can knock this. Now, personally, I brought long-term call options on this stock, and they're doing very well. Let me just tell you that. Now, the PE ratio has me a little terrified, so this is one stock that I'm watching like a hawk. But after they continue to perform like this, I can't just sit and watch on the sidelines. Let me know what you guys think about this stock in the comments down below. Now, if you want me to do a deep dive into this stock, meaning I'll go over the balance sheet, go over their statement of cash flows, and go over their income statement in depth and not just the earnings report, let me know down in the comments down below. Other than that, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like, and be sure to stick around for more videos. Peace.